I guess I'll go here. Hey, so it's Thursday. It's 7 o'clock.
And it's Kirby Museum time.
It is. Hello. Well, it's just me. I'm Rand Hoppy. I am the director of the Kirby Museum, and I'm here with Tom, who's the president of the Kirby Museum. Because you know what? I usually ask Tom to introduce himself, but I tricked him this time, and I didn't go to him.
I had to bite my tongue.
See how that happens? Oh, so Josephine is saying hello. Hi, Josephine. So Mike is not with us tonight because, he's got a whole thing going on with his job, and things are out of control, and he's like doing this and that. So it's just me and Tom. So welcome. And I guess we'll just like fire up this presentation that I've got going, and because it's how do I do this again? Oh, I do that, and then I do this. Yes, there it is. Okay. Mike was doing this last time. Now I have to learn how to do it. Okay. So yeah. So
and just so you know, Mike is who is Mike?
Mike Cicchini is the secretary of the Jack Kirby Museum and Research Center. And, we take Jack Kirby very seriously. He's a very important figure in our culture and art and comic books. Talk about like a 20th century, giant. And we're here to help remind everybody of how important he is and how awesome his work is. And we like to have a lot of laughs too. So just bear with us as,
And comment. Questions are welcome.
And please, comment in the chat room.
Correct us if we're wrong.
like I like to say, kudos and brickbats, but keep the kudos coming. So it is the 50th anniversary of his Fourth World, Jimmy Olsen. I think just Jimmy Olsen. Oh no, I think Forever People might have come out before Christmas in 1970. Did they all come out before Christmas, before the end of the year? I don't remember, but so it's 50 years in the year 2020. And so we decided that we were going to do something to celebrate that. And then the pandemic hit. And then we decided we were going to do all these live streams to figure this stuff out so we could get out to people and talk about Jack Kirby and do TV shows and blah, blah, blah. So here we go. All right. So we started out with episode 0. It was a ramp up, an introductory episode. We talked about what got Jack Kirby to the point where he created the Fourth World, the presentation pieces, his dealings with Stan, what he did in 4 with Ragnarok, right, Tom? That was fun. The Ragnarok stuff.
Yeah, that was fun.
And the Tales of Asgard. And, those incredible presentation pieces. And then we, in mid-June, we did the number ones, the first issues of the Forever People, New Gods, and Mr. Miracle. That was great. Then we jumped right into talking to Mike Royer because we wanted to talk to Mike, and we had a lot of fun with that. But we had technical difficulties, so I ended up having to re-edit that presentation, and everything's on YouTube. YouTube is our archival space for all of these videos. So you want to go to our YouTube channel, look for the Fourth World stuff, look for the live streams. And if you like us, of course, please follow and click that little bell, because then you'll get the word when we put new stuff on YouTube or we schedule a new live stream like this. Then episode 2 in early July, we did 5 issues of comics. It was too much. We say this every time. Hour and a half. Give me a break. What were we thinking? We did it. It was great. Whatever. It's always fun to talk about the Fourth World.
So if you're watching YouTube and you can't sleep in the middle of the night, just watch that one. Right, you'll fall asleep.
Oh, come on. No, it's exciting and fun. All right. So we went episode 3. We did Forever People and New Gods number 3 in late July. Early August, Mr. Miracle 3, Jimmy Olsen 135. Then, oh boy, when was that? Last Thursday we did Happy Land and Barda. That was a fun one. And then we also just last Sunday we did episode 6, which was D and Alien 4 on Terror and Deep Six. So here we are in episode 7. We in episode 7? We are in episode 7. Look at this. Oh my gosh. It's Sonny Sumo, Murder Machine, and Spawn, and Stefano from Italia. Very good. It's good. Nice to see you, Stefano. So we're gonna dive into the world of these 3 issues. Obviously, a lot to say. We've already talked about 2 of the covers when we were talking to Mike Royer, I think.
Yeah, we talked about the Mr. Miracle cover and the New Gods cover.
Yeah, and the Forever People cover.
Yes.
Right? So we're going to rehash some old stuff. It's great. Anyhow, here we go. It's the Forever People number 5. It's got Sonny Sumo on the cover. Nice, nice color rendering on Sonny. Mike Royer's first cover. Maybe Mike's first work? Do we know for the Fourth World? You think this was the first thing he did?
No, it wasn't actually.
Okay.
I don't believe it was.
Okay.
Mike said on the interview that it was New Gods number 5.
Far out. Okay. Well, we'll get there. All right. So, but it's a nice cover. The weird yellow background. Go ahead.
And this one is this Forever People issue is inked inside by Vince Coletta.
Right.
So that would suggest that it was drawn and inked much earlier than the cover, and much my guess is much earlier than New Gods 5 and the other ones.
Right. Well, I
don't know if the X numbers verify that or not.
I think they do. Yeah, the covers ended up being billed. Kirby would bill for the covers quite some numbers later after the stories themselves, as far as I remember. Okay, so what's next? Oh, it's the pencil photocopy of the cover, and it's great. But I'm going to go back. So, look at the black background. I mean, Kirby put all this fun stuff in there, and it turned into a big black blob. Right?
Yeah, Mike mentioned that he didn't put the black in there, and he most likely inked everything that you see there, including that building pattern in the background.
Right. And that's what Mike would do.
Yeah. And Mike mentioned that he would never, ever, ever, ever put white outlines over figures like they did.
Well, that's right. So let's look at that again. I'll go back. The white outline on Sonny. That's like one of those things, and that clearly happened in the production in New York. Jerry Serpe, Jack Adler, looking at Jack Kirby stuff and saying, "No, we're going to do this." Okay. So let's move on and there is a photocopy of Mike's inking
and you can see everything there,
and you can see that he inked everything and added like a big diagonal blob there on the upper right. I guess. I mean, it's not in the pencils. But
Mike liked doing that. He did that in several different issues. He liked adding these geometric kind of shapes.
Yeah,
and you'll see that later on in other issues.
Yep, you'll see them tonight. Tonight.
Soon.
So here it is, my friend, side by side.
Oh my God!
Just letting you know.
Look at the beauty.
Look at it. So you just compare it at the same time. You don't need Rand flipping back and forth between the two. You can kind of just do that, and it's the mega side by side.
I think they really. I don't understand why they made it all black in the background. Maybe just so they could focus on the text, I guess. I don't understand.
You can look at this stuff and just be like, just some good coloring would have made it an incredibly dynamic cover.
I just like in Back a Beautiful Dreamer how there's a pattern and it gives her context for being there. When they put all black there, she's just like kind of like floating in a weird way.
Yeah. So, yeah. All right. Well, moving on. Here's the page 1 splash. I am presenting these as they would look when you were reading the comic. I'm not including the ads because we get distracted by them because they're hilarious. But you would open the comic and then there'd be an ad on the left-hand side, and then you'd see Sonny. You'll see a few more of that with a single thing and then a spread. It's a close-up. It's fun. He's so how did we met Sonny in the last episode on the last page of the Forever People, because let me get this straight. The mother box was Desaad and his engineer were trying to destroy a mother box, right?
And it blew up and didn't exist anymore, but it actually did.
It transported itself.
It sure did.
To Sonny. So yeah. And here's Sonny, and he is what is he doing?
He's fighting this big electronic robot thing, but the preface for this was all about how he's a samurai, like in olden days, but now today everything is commercial and they're trying to make money off of him. So this is a big kind of setup where a publicity type thing where they make his managers are making a lot of money, and they're fighting, and they set him up to fight this killing machine, basically a robot.
Yeah. I mean, it's kind of cool. It looks good. But we have the original art. So
I forgot we had this.
Yeah.
That's cool.
And there's lots of whiteout, and I didn't do the Photoshop curve thing on this, but you know, if you can see those little blotches where there's white, I don't know what's going on. Did Jack draw something there? And Vinny didn't erase it well enough. I have no idea. There's like this hand. I don't know. Is my cursor showing up on the screen? Yeah. So there's a hand. There's like this guy has a hand. Maybe he was holding something, but there's a big blob of white out there for some reason. There's all this white out over here. And this is even a Vinny Coletta page, a Vinny Coletta spread. This huge character is awesome, and all the technology is awesome in the front. It's almost like it doesn't look that great in the color version. But anyhow, I guess it's all.
Yeah, it's not a bad job by Vinny, but you just don't know how many things were erased in pencil format.
No, that's right. All right. So then, yeah, he flips the guy around, and we cut to our friends, the Forever People.
And where are they? Where are they, Rand?
They're in Happy Land.
Oh, they must be in good shape then, right? Because it's happy.
Everything's
right?
happy in Happy Land. No, it's terrible.
Oh, come on.
They're being tortured in Happy Land, and then their images are being used to fake out people in Happy Land to think that like Big Bear's a robot bear and Mark Moonrider's a skeleton and Seraphan is being tortured by having to save Viking from being decapitated by a roller coaster. And Beautiful Dreamer, I mean, she's just like tied up in by Desaad. And
she sees monsters.
She sees monsters. Yeah.
Which is interesting. They have these like glass films in front of them, and it's almost like VR right now. They just like
AR,
like augmented reality. So this is Kirby's vision of what we have today in 1972-ish.
Yeah. There's Desaad. What's going on? Yeah. Oh boy, the psychofuge. He's siphoning her fear. It's horrifying, and he's exhilarated because he's a sadist. Get it, Desaad? Okay. Right. So there's all the monsters that she sees.
And those are the people that are actually there. There's many other that are being tortured. So his machine kind of allows him to feel all the fear and torture of everybody at the park. And we're back to Sonny.
Yep, back to Sonny, and he is he's fighting the robot again. Oh, and he gets got some flame throwing action going on, and Sonny has a mystic power in the mind. He's going through the ritual now. He calls it wound. He's going to reject the wounds. So he has some kind of
superpower.
And there he is. Look at him. He's He's all.
But it's only temporary.
It is. All right. But he is able to beat the monster, beat the robot, and then, oh boy, the wounds are coming back. Get a doctor.
But Mother Box
starts pinging. It's he doesn't really acknowledge it, but you've healed my wounds. Your Mother Box. He
reassembled the atoms in his face and fixes them.
Yeah. And then Mother Box asks him something, and they pop out.
And where does he go?
He pops into Happy Land.
There you go.
Incredible.
And Mother Box communicates all the situations that Rand just talked about at the beginning. Right. And he runs through Happy Land to all the places, and he frees the Forever People.
Right. Well, we're not there yet, but he will.
Sorry.
Spoilers, man.
Foreshortening.
He breaks the glass for Mark Moonrider. He destroys the glass for the robot bear, for Big Bear. Okay. All right. Then he gets them both out, and then Tassad is like, "What's going on?"
And Mother Box goes through the circuits and gets to the machine that he was using to monitor all the fear and anxiety, and blows it up.
Oh, there's an enemy. It's an enemy with a Mother Box. So then his guards are they pick him up, and then Dreamer is still seeing she's the sleeping princess. That's right.
Right.
And
they had to whisper a word into that to wake her up, and if they do, they get $1,000.
Yeah. Excuse me. And so then Sonny and the box show up, and she wakes up. Oh, there's some original art. I think we got this from IDW. Was Forever People 5 in one of the artists?
It was actually, yes.
Yep. So definitely, folks, check out the IDW for artist editions. We've been lucky enough to partner up with those guys, and Scott Dunbeer. Thank you, Scott. That we got some scans. We gave them some scans. We got some books. We sold some books to help us with our programs. And so these Forever People 5 scans, I believe, are from IDW. But that's kind of fun to see. It's side by side.
Oh my God!
Really helpful. It's a private joke we have. We're gonna have.
It's not that private anymore.
It's not private anymore. So enjoy the Kirby Museum side by side. All right. Here we go. Okay. So then the guards are chasing them. We've got company. What do we do? Oh, geez, please stop. Save Seraphan from and Viking. Jeez. Magically, the magnetic cables holding Viking begin to unwind. He breaks free. Sonny's still communing with the Mother Box, and then boom! Lower your weapons and sleep.
What happened?
Boink. They're out.
So,
go ahead.
So Sonny had Mother Box actually seek him out because Mother Box knew that he had the anti-life equation deep in his brain, and Mother Box kind of pulled it out and brought it forward. That's why in the previous page he was had his head right next to it.
Right.
And then basically, you want to explain what the anti-life equation is, Rand?
Oh my gosh! Well,
this is a test.
Yeah, it's a test. Thanks. So the anti-life equation, in the hands of someone like Darkseid, would give him complete and utter control over everything and everybody. So you would have
with one word,
have no free will. It would all be Darkseid. So that's right. Am I right? Did I pass?
That's right.
It's the
But in
ultimate
Sony's
totalitarian. Hmm?
in his hands, he can make people sleep.
Right. That's right. And what does $1 billion Bates do it? Well, we have to find out. That's coming up in a few issues, right?
Yeah, number 8.
Oh, this is it. I really I don't know. I feel like I discovered this today, but I'm not sure. I kind of like the smiling characters. It's very attractive.
They're all goo goo.
Yeah, it's all fun. Like, hey, we the mother box is this and that and the other thing, but there's a war. Hey, who are you? And here's the original art. And eh. I just started looking at Big Bear, and I'm like, what is going on with Big Bear? Is he like? He's like, what arm is that? I'm trying to. Is he like turned away from Dreamer? And
I think that's the side of his body, and that's his arm coming down.
Side of his body, right? I mean, that's how it's colored, right? That's that black thing with the dots on it actually goes down the kind of is a part of a vest, a hairy vest thing that he's got, right?
Yeah. Yep.
So, they're side by side, everybody. You're welcome. But I just kept looking at it, and then it was like, yeah, what's happening? So here's Photoshop, and I don't know if you see this here, but here's some of Jack's circles for the other side of Bear's chest. I think Vinny completely redrew this thing, because this here would have been Bear's chest, and his arm would have been behind Dreamer and Mark.
Right.
Because it looked totally nuts to me. Like, I didn't get it. They're all at a certain angle, but Bear is like turned around this way because what? Like, it's just weird, right? Look at that. It's totally strange. So there's Vinny. This is like a Photoshop thing.
What else is strange is his arm. It's kind of got all those wrinkles in it, and I don't know why it's like that.
That's Vinny's arm. That's not Jack's arm. That's my point. I mean, like it's just like, what are those wrinkles? I don't even know. Doesn't he have a bear arm? Isn't that his character? Is a bear is like his arm is, yeah, it's flesh.
And I have to say that a lot of people criticize Jack for drawing women, that they're not beautiful and that they look like his wife and all that kind of stuff. But beautiful Dreamer here, it's just, I mean, that is a beautiful drawing of a woman. It's really beautiful.
Look at the what is it? The True Divorce Stories with some pretty ladies too. Inked by Royer. It's even better. So then the end, and then it's like, well, so Darkseid, you saw all that? Well, I'm gonna have to kill them and take Sumo. So yeah,
I want it. I want the equation. The question is, how does he get it out of the person?
Some electrodes. I don't know.
They never address that.
Fancy.
He always wants it, but nobody knows how I know. If he had it, how he'd have it.
So so here's letters page. Interesting that there's a letter from Carl Heinemann. I think I met Carl, and I know his brother Larry. So hello, Heinemans. You're probably not watching this live stream or anything, but there you go. More letters. Phil, Bob Metcalf, etc. And then we end up in the world of Lonar. That was one of the things about these larger 25-cent issues, that there were more pages. So Kirby was able to fill out the issues with some fun additional things, right? I mean,
right.
Is this the first one we've seen?
It is the first one we saw.
Wow. So Lonar.
Because this is a 25-cent issue, right? It's a bigger one.
Yeah.
So this is the first one.
Yeah. As far as how we've been going through them.
Yeah, that's true.
Comics Legend, we will definitely do something like that. We'll come up with some kind of fan art hashtag. You heard it. So this is fun. I mean, he's finding Lonar is wandering around in some, detritus from the big Armageddon that happened. He's picking up helmets that look like Thor's helmet, and he's got a sword that looks like the sword that was on the first page of New Gods 1. Which also had a helmet, a winged helmet, winged helmet.
Could that be Thor's?
Maybe. But he's got Mother Box with him, and there's a pencil photocopy, which is nice, and there it is side by side with the printed version, and this is great. He meets a horse, gets on the horse, and they're off. A wondrous war horse. So, hey,
do you want me to show
anything to add to this, Tom?
Yeah.
All right. Fire that thing up. Let's make that.
Okay. So how do I do? So back in around 2010, or actually before that, starting in early 2000, I had Mike Royer do a lot of recreations that I have on a site that I created called whatifkirby.com. And
Lynn,
so I had him read.
Lynn, you are absolutely right. I'm sorry to interrupt, but Lynn, you're right about that. He did the Orion's mob were all hooked up to machines trying to extract the anti-life. Yeah. So
do you see you don't see my screen now, right?
Almost. Hang on. I got to fire it up. There we go.
Okay.
You're in.
So Mike redid this whole story for me because I actually own the other Lonar story that's in a future issue. So I wanted to have all Royer stuff and not Coletta stuff. It's just a personal preference. So this is the first page where Mike re-inked everything based on the photocopies.
Well, wait, did you what did he get to work from?
He worked from copies of the photocopies.
Oh, he did. Okay.
Yeah. And I didn't pencil. In some cases, I re-penciled everything. In this case, he wanted to do everything himself. So he recreated the pencils and he inked everything. He told me this is probably one of the last. What?
Could you do me a favor and get rid of that thing at the bottom of the screen?
You.
Sorry. I'm such a pain. Please continue. Yeah.
After he finished this issue, he told me that he doesn't really want to do any more stories because they're so complicated.
Oh, okay.
And then this is the second page. Oops, let me just open this bigger. Right. Every time I go to a different tab, it just redoes it.
That's weird.
So it's similar, but I mean, Mike's pencils and inks are so much stronger than what Vinny did, without a doubt.
Yeah.
Oh, especially this last page with the horse, which I really love because now that I had him do this, it looks very much like the first page of the story that's in Forever People #7 backup story, where it starts right here. Actually, the first kind of panel is him riding his horse and Orion sees him kind of thing. So.
Yeah. Oh, that's great.
That's it.
All right. And we're back. Boop. Okay. Oh, so let's take a look at Mr. Miracle #5. So that was it for the Forever People. So they're relatively. We left them. They're relatively happy, but we know that Darkseid wants to kill them, and he wants Sonny Sumo. That's how we left it. All right. So here we are, Mr. Miracle #5, Dr. Wunderbar's Murder Machine.
And this is another cover that's been highly changed, and
we'll get there.
Totally changed.
Here's Kirby's pencil. Yeah.
I love the titling he did. Too bad they kept it the way it was, but
it's also big, beautiful, dangerous, big Barda. Yeah, that's there. So then so there's the original art we have a scan of. And big difference. A-bomb.
They turned the
giant axe.
Well, there's also a knife, which was not in the story at all.
Yeah.
And in the story, they had these big stone things that hit it, and that's what he's showing there. But then they turned it into an axe, which has nothing to do with the story.
Not in the story at all. It's, it evokes something. It's yeah, but they needed things. Let's just go back and look at the big color thing. Yeah, okay.
And if you go back to our podcast with Mike Royer, he talks about this as well.
Does. Yeah. That's oh geez. Yeah, so I went all the way. So that's wow. Look at that. The A-bomb. They adjusted the A-bomb.
Yep. Yeah,
wow.
So the middle one is like another iteration of it. They also changed the position of the sword.
Wow. The knife, the sword is totally different.
Yeah. Yep.
See that? Is it amazing how side by side can add new insights? It did. I didn't realize that happened. I'll be honest. I didn't realize.
I did.
Yeah, well. Okay.
Well, because
I know. Oh, there she is. See her. See how she exercises. She's tough. She's incredibly strong.
She
comes from Apocalypse. Yeah. And so the boys are watching. Yeah, let's go hang out on this stone wall and watch this chick do some calisthenics. What do you say, boys? But we do have boy, here we go. So we have this pencil photocopy. This is what Jack drew, a photocopy of what Jack drew. And then we have the original art, inked by Mike Royer, which is, please note the differences in the face. And also kind of fun is Mike's note down here, colorist, please leave sky area white. Will give this page a poster-like quality, which is true. And Mike has mentioned that quite a number of times. I love when he left the borders out and had the pages pop like that. So there's that. But then what happens? Why? Oh man, I screwed it up. Okay, so look at the difference between Mike's inks and what was eventually published. What was published looks a lot more like what Jack penciled. What do you say, Tom?
I say that Jack didn't like Mike changing the face, so he cut out the face from his photocopy. There you go, and pasted it on top of the original art.
We have the photocopy that he cut the face out. I'm sorry. So he cut the pencil art out of the photocopy, inked it, and glued it onto the art to cover the bad decision prettifying of Barda's face.
Yes.
That Mike. Hilarious. And, pretty interesting. Right, folks?
He told Mike never to mess around, never to change his faces. So
that's right.
After this, Mike never changed his faces.
Never changed his faces after this. It was really early in their time. And then, this is great. Barda.
Nonchalantly carrying a Civil War cannon on her shoulder.
Yeah, it's so great. This women's lib thing is getting more serious than I thought. Oh, yeah. Now we have original art. So, again, kind of a pretty face there.
You could see on the original art the yellowing where he pasted the photocopy on top and re-inked it.
Right. And there's the photocopy with
right
the
on
hole in it. Where he cut the face out. So then we'll move into the story with Vermin Wunderbar. Reminds me of like Burkhalter or somebody from Hogan's Heroes. He has a monocle. Pretty funny.
It makes me wonder, during the war, he probably met some Germans or somebody like that too.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
spinning around. Oh, there's a pencil.
And so he's doing a little test to see.
Test. Right.
Yeah.
We must kill Mr. Miracle.
He's such a funny character, you know.
He is. He's pretty got some, weird, violent comedy stuff going on. And then Oberon's dressed up in like a Civil War outfit.
It's just bizarre.
Yeah. Okay. So I guess the canon kind of fits in a Civil War like thing. Okay. Yeah.
You saw her too in this issue number 2. Granny Goodness.
Okay. Granny Goodness. Yeah. So right. They call back to Granny Goodness.
So both of that Wunderbar?
Yeah.
Is that how you? And was also one of Granny Goodness in the orphanage. So was Scott Free. So was Barda.
Right. Barda.
I love this shot of. I mean, it's just incredible. The shot of Barda on the right side. It's just
iconic. Yet another icon. I remember last Mr. Miracle, introducing Barda. I was like, oh, look at that. That's an iconic shot. Oh, look at that. That's an iconic shot. Look at this shot. That's so great. So great. We've seen a lot of nice Barda cosplay over the years at the conventions. I wish I had. If I had the time, I would have brought them in to the presentation. But there was one girl who was like 10 years old. She was little Barda, dressed up like that. It's hilarious. So Barda's in action. Meanwhile, Scott is like trying.
So they try to abduct Barda, and
she's
they're doing it with the silence because they want to catch her, but not have Mr. Miracle like run over and try to stop them from doing so because they have other plans for him.
Yeah. All right. So there's canon stuff.
And so he finds out because he sees this lift. What is it called? Magna lift.
Yeah.
And he grabs his arrow discs.
Yes.
And those are so cool.
They're the best. Yeah. Very, very cool. They really make he and his costume like just look really great.
I think in 20 years we'll have them. We will. I mean, now you have SpaceX that drops things vertically,
Yeah.
So why not?
Uh-oh. I'm going to find him and his death trap. You're on time, Mr. Miracle. You must forgive my receiving you this way on an image screen.
Which is basically a widescreen TV vertical.
And then he locks him up.
And then, so this is kind of like he mentions that it's like a car wash where he's going through and getting
on the cover. Yeah. Oh man.
Yeah, and those are the things that bang into him. That on the cover they changed into an axe. I don't know why. There's no axe here.
Right. And that was Barda. She's
they neutralized. Yeah, they neutralized her with some kind of ray at the beginning. And the last part of it is acid bath, where everything gets dissolved, and it's over with. Mr. Miracle's dead. No more Mr. Miracle. This is the last issue. No, wait a minute.
Is he going to use the mother box to escape again?
No.
Okay.
No, because he's playing fair this time.
Okay.
So now he explains he had things in his shoes.
Yes.
At the bottom of the shoes because they locked his feet in, but they didn't pay attention to the fact that the bottoms of his shoes had some kind of what does they call it? Laser foot blasters.
Yes.
And he could tunnel right into the rock underneath and find out where he is, where the Wunderbar is.
Right.
And that's of course, he saves the beautiful woman in the end and off into the moonrise or sunset.
And next issue, Funky Flashman. Oh, boy.
That's going to be fun.
That'll be fun. The con man's con man. All right. So that was issue 5 of Mr. Miracle. That was fun. Herman Wunderbar. Letters pages. Yeah, we recognize some of those names. Oh, it's young Scott Free. In the tradition of Oliver Twist and David Copperfield. It's young Scott Free in the orphanage of Granny Goodness. Yikes.
Yeah, it's not a fun place to be.
No.
Very depressing.
Yeah. She's always great. She's got like this caftan on, and then she like takes it off, and she's got she's got like armor.
Yeah, a little bit like Barda's, but not exactly, obviously.
Yeah. Ah, paff. Ouch. All right. Oh, where'd that come from? Pay no attention to that.
So if you look at and I'm going to show you something afterwards, but on the left-hand side, the middle panel.
Yes.
Look how empty the background is.
Yeah. Okay.
Coletta erased a lot. And then look at the next to the guy shouting something like jab, jab. There's a blot of ink because Vinny just dropped some ink on the page and didn't pay attention and it got printed.
Ooh, I just blotted out. I dropped a big blob of ink on the page.
Oh, well, I don't have time to clean that up.
No, I need to move on.
It's not in the reprints. It's only in the originals. The first printings.
Funny. Oh, gosh. So then, of course, Scott goes through all this trouble and he goes into a contemplation cell. And what do you know? Metron shows up. And thus it begins or something. But yeah, it's a different, he's going to start experiencing a different world. All right. Anything interesting to share with us on this one?
I do.
Hey, okay.
So Mike recreated this whole story as well.
Nice.
And if you look at the great Mike Royer titling and the way he broke up what people said and the different sections, it's far better than what was actually printed originally.
Right. Yeah, that's pretty cool.
So that's the first page. Second page. Oops, that's Lone R. Sorry. Second page is right here.
Oh, yeah.
Much more powerful inks. Faithful to Jack. And again, he worked directly from the photocopies.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
And back to that sky, that the ink blot has now been removed, and all these people in the background standing there, and actual people flying in the background are all there. So it looks like there's a lot of things going on there. Whereas Vinny's looks like it's during COVID. There's nobody around.
Can you zoom in on that middle tier there?
Sure.
Because then I will. Wow, look at that. So there's one guy missing and a whole bunch of little people.
There's
missing.
A whole mess of people here missing. One of these guys.
Switch it out. So look at that. So here there's a person missing. There's a whole group of people missing here. Wow. Yeah. Oh, Vinny. So, all right. And then is there...
There's another page. Last page. His face is so much more like destroyed and everything than the original.
Yeah. Oh. Very cool.
So that's that.
Yeah, nice. Thank you. And then we can move on to New Gods 5. Um,
New Gods number 5.
that's number 5.
Another cover that's been it's amazing how much DC changed the covers
It's true.
when they got them.
They really felt they had a job to do.
And the coloring is the weird kind of like yellow, orange,
The bursty
white.
thing. Yeah.
It just doesn't look right. And he's holding rocks and stuff, but where'd the rocks come from? Well, in the original,
there's a whole bunch of
there's
rocks.
a whole bunch of. He's in the cave, and that's what the whole story is about. He's underground and
in a cave, but they have like, all this bright light, orange, yellow, like he's out. And didn't get that it was in a cave, right? Side by side.
Hey, Jeremy, how's it going? Thank you for joining.
Hey, Jeremy, good to see you. So here we go. We start out with we get to see this Metron and crazy grayscale collage. But guess what? That's what Jack submitted. And if only DC could have figured it out, spent the money, blah blah blah, to give us Metron on top of that. But
it would have been even nice if the reprints had it.
I know.
They should do. They just came out with the Ultimate Fourth World. To me, the Ultimate Fourth World would be going back to the original stuff and original beautiful color collages and everything.
I know. So there it is. I kind of like showing the artifacts, so I didn't crop it and align it, but you get the idea. And then
that's such a beautiful spread.
It's a beautiful spread.
It's one of my favorites. I remember seeing this and just getting blown away.
Really.
There's a couple of spreads that blew me away, and this is definitely one of them.
Yeah, it's really dramatic, and we were lucky enough to be able to, in a very circuitous fashion, end up with a color photocopy of the original art.
Yeah,
I had in a box, and then I was digging through the box, and I'm like, I don't think we have scans of this. So we got this from our pal Mike Gartland, and so that was great.
This is the first issue Mike ever inked, and this is the first spread Mike ever inked.
That's right. That's really cool.
It's great because he talks about it's all about the source and the frontier and all these different gods and people that tried to break the barrier of the source. And one way they tried to do it is they tried to enlarge their body to the size of the universe, like huge, to try to break through the barrier to the source.
Right.
So it's interesting, beginning to it, because it's kind of out of nowhere in a way.
It is just a total random moment cutaway.
But I think it's great because it gives a new dimension to what the source is and the barrier and all that.
Yeah, because now we're back on Earth with Orion, and we're in the police department with Dave Lincoln is in the police department talking to Turpin. Right? About
Terrible Turpin. Yes. Yeah. Sergeant Turpin.
He's great. He
calls him Sergeant. He said, it's better to call me Terrible Turpin.
Terrible Turpin. I know you're working on big stuff, kid.
And he's stuck in the past. I mean, everybody criticizes him.
That's right. Because modern men wear fedoras, whereas Turpin wears a derby. And that's your clue.
Yep.
But Dave gives some information, intergang stuff, because last issue it was Snakey and Country Boy, all that stuff going on, right?
Yep.
What
Country
happened?
Boy that was originally in the Days of the Mob #1.
Right. So
because he was doing in the Days of the Mob #1 about the same time.
So we're back with Victor and Dave and Harvey and what's the woman's name again?
Claudia
Claudia, right?
Shane
Yep, Claudia Shane. And so
and Harvey Lockman, who has to go back to his parents.
He does. He's not as young and as cool as he thinks. That's okay. But then Orion has clashed with Slig,
who's part of the Deep Six.
And he's got his ankle caught by a clam.
His right ankle.
It's not good. We're gonna go there right now. We're gonna go to the right ankle. Okay, it's the right ankle. so then, Slig towards. Look at this monster. I turned. What did he do? Did he turn a rock into a monster?
No, yeah, he turned. I forget what he turned in. Go to the previous page.
Go back.
Oh,
it's a small
station,
right? So he turned a small guy. So then he turned the clam into that big giant clam, and it disintegrates, and then there's all kinds of.
So why is Orion down there? What happened in the last issue? So you can.
Do you have any memory of that?
He went underwater trying to find.
Seagrin died.
Seagrin died, and he knew it was the Deep Six, so he went after them underwater. And then he found them, and they turned all the plants into like monsters, and they captured him.
Right. So now he's got in that middle panel in that middle tier on the right. What do we see?
Orion in the clam, but what leg does he have this time?
His left leg, Tom.
How did he get his right leg out and put his left leg in there?
No.
He's Orion.
It's Orion. So Mike Royer definitely pointed that out to us. That wasn't anything. So then he contacts the Astroforce,
but if you think about it, Jack really was about composition, and if you look at the previous one, it's like you wouldn't really notice it unless you really looked.
That's right.
So the design works perfectly here. If it was his other leg, it would look weird, because the other page he was on his stomach, here he's on his back.
That's interesting, Pete. You think that probably all the criminals in the days of the mob were real except Country Boy. So that was.
Yeah, I wonder if Country Boy was real or not. I don't know. Sounds probably not, because it sounds very generic kind of thing. But who knows?
It's a fun idea too, because he's got the fishing pole.
And Right.
So then what happens? Oh my gosh, that thing is just mutated. The clam is mutating even more.
Well, why is he doing that? It's because in his wrist, he knows that the Astroforce, or whatever you want to call it, because they keep on changing the name, is nearby. So he could use Bluetooth with his wrist.
I still think it's Zigbee, but that's just me. Because 5 years hasn't come in yet.
And grab the power of the Astroforce from his wrist and then zap the clam that turns into be this monster of a thing. Because what's his name? Slig, he can mutate things by just touching them with his right hand. His left hand has power that will kill them. And he used his left hand in order to get Orion down to the cave.
Got it.
Because he didn't know that happened, and he woke up there and it's like, how'd I get here?
And who is this shark guy?
He's another mutation. So Slig had a bunch of sharks and stuff that he used his right hand with and turned them into different things.
I mean, Orion calls him Shark Seed. It's like people for years people. I think people still call Darkseid Dark Seed, unless they see the movie.
That's funny. That's true. I didn't get that. Yeah.
So it's like Shark Seed. And I just can't really tell whether it's left shark or right shark either. But oh boy, yeah. It's a giant harness.
So that's where. So the Deep Six have some type of a monster that they've created, and Orion sees it, and that takes us to the next issue when you actually the last page. You'll see what was in the harness.
So who's in the hospital here with Turpin?
They don't say who it is. I don't know. No, it wouldn't be Country Boy. I thought at first it was Lincoln, but
no.
But they say it's a lieutenant or something.
Especially when they maul my
best detectives. So it must be somebody that works with him.
Oh, and look, this is a fun one. It's a pencil. It's a photocopy of Kirby's pencils, and it's all just art. Because what happens is that when he scripted it, he erased stuff to put the script in. I didn't realize that was a part of the process. It's kind of cool to see. I don't know, I guess Steve or I don't know whether it was Steve or Mark or Roz or Jack, made that copy, or Neil made that copy. But it's great to be able to see the process there,
Mm-hmm.
Oh yes, triple side by
side.
Chef's kiss. But it's interesting to see that there is a photocopy of it before the script was put on. So we're back. We're back in the hospital. I know Darkseid does actually kind of work as as the concept. It's true, Lynn. So there's Turpin with his derby on. There's a gang war between super spooks.
He calls them super spooks.
Yeah. And
then the boom tube.
The boom tube. And what happens? It's not good, Claudia. I've got a strange hunch. I'm taking you home right now. It's Calabac. Does he have elfin ears?
Room.
How many toes does he have? We got really into
that.
No,
like earlier he had like 2 toes, but in this one he has like big boots on. So his 2 toes are inside of a boot. What?
You can't tell how many toes he has.
You can't tell.
So yeah. So there's Slig. Oh boy, here comes Orion.
He found his Astro, whatever.
Yeah, Astro harness.
Zaps him. His face turns back into the real face of Orion.
Right.
He kills Mother Box. He has a Mother Box inside his home, which I found interesting because I always thought that they didn't have Mother Box.
Oh, yeah. I don't know. Yeah, that is odd. Huh. Okay.
Can you think of a time that anyone had a Mother Box on the other side?
From Apocalypse? No.
Yeah. This is the only time I can think of. Maybe there is other times, but.
All right. So Mother Box chose to die. And I'll kill you for that. But now look at your face, you croaking frog. Oh, oh man. These guys, you're a mad, tormented animal. Yeah. So there's the true monster face of Orion. Darkseid's. Shh. Darkseid, son. Shh.
Don't say it. We don't know that yet.
And that's it. Let the depth receive you.
There is the product of the Deep Six.
Yay! Woo! It's like an armored mountain given angry life.
Like a whale or something.
Yikes. And don't miss the Glory Boat with Light Ray.
Glory Boat is an excellent issue. I can't wait to get to that next time.
That's gonna be fun. We could have a whole mini series on the Glory Boat.
I think the pack.
And Hyman, right?
Yeah.
So there's some pencils for that final splash. Really cool.
Side by side. Great inking by Mike. Very
great.
Very,
this pops up again, because it was the kind of thing that they used to introduce the Golden Age reprints that were in these 25-cent comics. Letters page. Don't really recognize names, but there might be some. And here we are, the Young Gods of Supertown.
Fastback.
I like back a lot. I like this story.
Yeah, it's a good story. It's fun. I love these backup stories, just like Tales of Asgard.
Yeah. Oh, there's some pencil. Pretty cool. And side by side. Yeah.
So this is Coletta inking?
Yeah. And
so it probably was done way earlier than the Royer time frame.
Yeah, I guess.
I love those vehicles that they fly on.
Yeah,
on the bottom left panel.
I am a big fan of that bottom left panel. I love that guy's hat. I love his vehicle. So much so that I put the pencil in, just because I'm like, yeah, I like that guy. So yeah, it looks so cool from Jack's pencils. And there's side by side. Yeah, God, that face on the upper right panel, the lower portion. Eesh. Not great.
Yeah, it's missing a lot. I mean, the expressions have been all changed.
Yeah. And then
Fastback slides down the slide and sings in front. He has a beautiful voice. He sings in front of High Father.
Yep. That's a really fun 4-pager. And those are our 3 issues of New Gods, Mr. Miracle, Forever People. Yeah, Pete, it's like a Dr. Seuss machine. That's right. John Sagnas has an interesting comment that Mike's lettering was done at a different size. The Ames lettering guide. Yes, I have one. Can't get to it right now, but yeah. So it does make the art look great. So that is our episode. How long have we been going? Oh, not bad for 3 issues. I'll say
an hour.
Yeah, not bad. That's kind of the goal we want to do. We're going to try to get through all of the Fourth World in the summer, because that's what we called it. So now it's like, oh, the summer. Well, the real
it's gonna be
summer.
hard to get through all those extra issues of Mr. Miracle. That's the only thing.
Yeah, we might have to do those quickly, but we're going to do the true astronomical summer. So we have until like September 20th or something like that.
21st, 22nd. Yeah.
Not your cultural summer where it ends on Labor Day. No, we need those 2.5 weeks. So we're gonna go through it as best we can. I came up with a schedule. It basically means if we can do it, please keep us in mind on Tuesdays and Thursdays. We will be regularly doing. Sundays and Thursdays. The plan is to do that regularly. But the other news, of course, is that we are going to be celebrating Jack Kirby's what would have been Jack Kirby's 103rd birthday, August 28th, 29th, and 30th. We're going to do 3 days. It's like we're going to have a virtual pop-up where, I don't know, you're going to have to look at my shelving unit for 24 hours. But we're going to do it. We're going to do like 8 hours for a day for 3 days, maybe more, maybe less. There'll be a stream, much like this. We'll have guests. All kinds of people have said yes. People that, not your regular old people, but we're trying to. We're the constants, right? But there's people that we've seen a lot of over the years. We're trying to reach out and find other people to join us. They're going to come into the screen, like we are here, and we'll talk about Jack Kirby. Basically, we've been reaching out to them and saying, who is your Jack Kirby? What's your Jack Kirby? How did you discover him? What's your favorite? What's going on with you and Jack Kirby? And there's a lot of interesting stories. Everybody has different stories about Jack Kirby, except for those of us who really got hooked on early on, like Commandy around issue 12. But that's a whole nother thing. but there's so we're going to have a whole bunch of guests. We're going to do a dramatic reading of one of the Simon and Kirby romance comics, which should be a lot of fun. We've done readings before, and we've enjoyed the heck out of that. So,
and it's all going to be totally live on the fly. It's not going to be pre-recorded like Comic-Con was. It's going to be we're going to be here and available for questions or whatever you want to talk about. So,
yeah, and and
we could bring other people in possibly.
We could potentially bring people in on the fly, but we'll see how it goes. We're hoping that it'll be a lot of fun. So,
if you have any ideas, we have our Facebook page as well.
Yeah,
and if you are interested, just put information in there, and we can consider anything that you have there. So please, on Facebook, let us know. We got Twitter. 2 weeks? 2 weeks from tomorrow, right?
No, what's today?
A week from tomorrow.
Yeah, a week from tomorrow.
A week from tomorrow. Oh my God. I'm not ready.
I know.
So we're gonna when somebody tells us we've invited a bunch of people, so they tell us what their best Jack Kirby, what they like about Jack Kirby to them. They're gonna give us a list. We're gonna put together images and anything they want from the digital archive, so that during the discussion we could flip through something visual, and it's not just us and them talking, but them talking about what Jack Kirby basically means to them.
Right.
So it should be really fun. We're hoping it's going to be great.
I'm really looking forward to it. There might even be some like late night things on Twitch. Who knew? We're gonna try to have as much fun as we can, just talking about Jack, talking about his work, and we're really looking forward to that. So be sure to join us. And if you're on YouTube, like the follow thing and ring the bell. If you're on Facebook, do that thing that's like that and push the other thing. I don't know.
And on Twitter, follow us, please.
Yeah, Twitter. We love watching our Twitter numbers. So that's and we've been posting our Jack Kirby Today stuff. But I think that's it, Tom.
That's it. That's it, Brand.
It's what now? It's an hour and 10 minutes. So thank you so much for coming by. We've enjoyed your comments. Sorry I didn't address all of them, but please keep stopping by and saying hello, and we'll do our best to keep Jack Kirby's work and name out there. All right. Good night. Good night, Tom.
Good night.